It sounds like you've been moving and shaking, man, since, well, let me think. I graduated in 2002. Did you graduate 2001?
No, 2002, man.
Okay, you were okay. I thought we were up there together. Okay,
yeah, so man.
Kevin Anderson too. He came in. He actually came in after us. We came in 97. He came in 98.
Yeah,
but, I know you were doing architecture at that point.
Yeah.
Now you finished with an architecture degree, right?
I did, man.
Tell me about that, man.
It's back there. That's where it is, man. It ain't doing nothing else. It's just sitting. It's a part of all the other things. But I'll tell you, since we talking about this, all of these things, which you ain't gonna really get to see, really closely unless we zoom in. Those are representations of all the places that have paid me to come and do work for them. So every time I go to a new city that I haven't been to, I go cop one of those. And it's, of course, a conversation piece for my kids and all, but it also reminds me of all the places I've gotten. And I got a map over here on my other side where literally now I'm starting to put pins of like everywhere I've gone, man. Because, sometimes you don't get that feedback all the time of, all the work, all the stuff that you've been doing, man, because we keep pushing all the time, especially if you're a high achiever, you just keep on pushing. And sometimes you got to step back and be like, man, we've been doing some stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I do those as reminders. But back to architecture, the one thing that I often tell people is, man, architecture taught me how to do blueprints and really work through that. And I was like, now what I'm doing is I'm doing blueprints for people's careers, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm not doing floor plans. I'm doing, career plans. I'm working on trying to make sure, hey, what is your strength? What do you really need to focus on to make sure that you're moving up in the way that you really want?
I love that analogy, man. That's a great way to. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, man, if people would understand the power that they have, which most people know only a fraction of, and so what I do is I really try to bring that out and be like, man, you're more powerful than you think. Let's just organize and funnel this power, this energy that you have in the right direction.
Yeah. Harness it.
Yeah.
Got to harness it, right?
It's been stated, right? It's been stated that, you turn on a light bulb in a room, the lumens go out this way, right? It nicely illuminates the room.
Sure.
But if you take that same intensity and you put it in such a small space and focus it, it can actually burn holes in fabrics, right? That kind of stuff, because same amount, but it's just more focused. And that's what happens is that when you see people who are doing things, moving forward, really accelerating, what they've done is they've taken their energy from being so spread out, looking at every little thing, doing something, getting distracted, all this kind of thing, and just really harnessed it, man, and said, you know what? This is where I'm going. This is my goal. This is where I'm moving this year or this month or on this project. And then, the outcome is, man, this dude was on his stuff, right?
Yeah.
He just used the same energy that you had and just harnessed it.
Just got focused.
And focused. Yep.
I love this, man. This is what I expected, man. I'm gonna get to some of these questions, but you're on a roll, man.
Appreciate it, man. Look, you're easy. Look, I'll just say that you're real easy, man.
I'm in sales, man. I will say this. One of the reasons why I've been, in my humble opinion, why I feel like I've been successful at sales is because I'm easy. Like I think I listen pretty well, and I just pay attention. I think that's key, and I try to. I'm always curious. I feel like this is a Ted Lasso. I don't know if you watch Ted Lasso, but Ted Lasso has this. So let me think. What's dude's name? He was on Saturday Night Live. Kylie, and his name escapes me. Jason Sudeikis, right? So his character is Ted Lasso. It's on Apple TV. I shouldn't even go into this because it's pretty ridiculous. In any case, he's the coach. He's a football coach, but he winds up getting hired by a soccer team, basically a franchise in the UK. I think it's Manchester, somewhere in Europe, right? We'll say the UK. The story is that the owner is a divorcee whose husband used to own it, but she took over the franchise in the divorce. She got it. So she hired Ted to kind of like tank the whole thing because she knew that it was her ex-husband's baby, right? So she's almost kind of trying to tank it, like screw this guy, like, double birds, if you will. Yeah. And it's funny because now she begins to like Ted, like they develop a relationship. He's trying to figure out. But in any case, she's at a bar with Ted, and I think they're having lunch or something's going on. And her ex comes in and they start playing darts. Somehow they got to playing this dart game. And her husband is a really good dart player. However, Ted is better. Ted is spot on, genius, brilliant dart player. And he goes on this soliloquy talking about, you know what, you made all these assumptions about me. You thought you could beat me and this, that, and the other. He's a very humble guy. Like his tone is great. Like he's just a lovable character. I love Ted Lasso, if you can't tell. But long story short, his thing was like, you have to be curious. To circle back, I'm curious about people.
Yeah.
Genuinely curious. And I have conversations, and I think people I think they get that. They're like, this guy's he's really interested. And I think there's a likability factor to that. And I totally blame my mom for it because she knows no strangers and she just loves conversations. And I picked it up from her. And literally I'm just a curious person.
It's a great quality. Cause I mean, most people love to talk about themselves. Like
I can do that too. I'm in sales, but
well, I'm just saying. I mean, most people just love to talk about themselves, and so if you're curious, you allow them to feed into a lot, and you can just hear a bunch, man. I was doing a talk, and I think I may have told you about this. I was doing a talk for Martin Luther King. It was the Martin Luther King Day events earlier this year, and here in Nashville. And one of the things I told the young people, we were there at having a forum, and they would ask me like, "Hey, what would you do if you could talk to your old self back then?" One of those beautiful questions. And I was just like, "Man, you know what? I probably would connect more. I would probably network more." I was like, because the strength that I realize of networking has blown my mind, man. First of all, I was trained or in the environment that you need to be really, really good. And you need to be virtually the smartest person. Without saying that, you need to be the smartest person in the room, right? So, my parents was like, get really, really good. Yeah. And though that's not a bad quality, I will not say it trumps the quality of understanding who the people are in your life that are really good at other things, and then making sure they're connected to you, right? So you look at like, man, I'm really good at this, but I'm horrible at all these other things, and why not connect with these individuals? A better way to say it is what my mentor said. He was like, man, he's like, sell your strengths, buy your weaknesses. And I thought that was a beautiful way of saying it. Like, sell your strengths, buy your weaknesses. And so that's exactly kind of what I stay under now. So I'm like, man, look, when I'm writing or I got articles that's coming out or something like that, man, I lean on my boy heavily that's in the publishing arena. I'm like, hey, man, y'all don't want me writing anything. I was like, I'll talk about it, and then he's going to make sure it's articulated, right? He's going to do that kind of stuff.
Okay, I think I follow you now. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wrapping my head around that. Sell your strengths. Okay.
Yeah, man. So I mean,
bring somebody else on where you are maybe deficient or not as masterful or whatever. So okay, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, to that point, man, it's just like you gotta be willing to build that team, man. I mean, one of the things that I love about sports is because it has so many cool things to everyday life, right? Being a GM in your life is not a bad thing. Like seeing who you want to bring on the team and being able to fulfill those pockets that you may not be the most masterful in, right? Sure. So first thing that happened is when I got this opportunity to do like this new deal with these executive cars, I reached out to my mentor. I was like, hey man, what do you think? And I said, I can get one or I can get 3 cars. I was like, but I don't want to do this. He was like, okay. And he was real cool with it. I was like, no, I don't want you to be okay with me. I was like, what would you do? He was like, oh, well, you know, if I can get 10 of them, I'll probably get 10 of them. I was like, whoa. He was like, I mean, if I could do it, he said, because the amount that's going to come back from my investment.
From the investment.
Yeah, it's going to make a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
And at that point, it gave me what I needed. I was over there tiptoeing on another vibration, right? I was like, you know, let me just kind of tiptoe in. And he was like, nah, if you're going to jump.
Go ahead and go in.
Go in, right? So, you know, stuff like that you learn along the way, but you need those people around you to be able to drop that knowledge. Otherwise, you'll be playing in little league arenas when you really need to be in pro arenas.
Yeah.
Now, you did music and so did I. In fact, you was at one of my CD release parties. I gotta appreciate you for that, man. I appreciate you for being there. But that whole project was done by me in my studio. You know, I was doing backgrounds and like, all right, it's cool to know that you have the capacity and the ability to do that. But how nice would it have been to have other people involved in the mixing, the mastering, the backgrounds, even some of the production, right? You know what I'm saying? And so that was the mentality when I was younger is, hey, I can do all this on my own.
Right.
Which, you know, once again, you're not getting the prize for doing it all on your own, man. It's like, can we really make a great product?
Sure.
And, you know, that goes on in life, man. You know, do you have the best team?
Yeah.
You have the best output. You know, are you hitting the objectives the way you need to? And so, you know, that's what I learned you know, at this point, just kind of looking back, it's like, how many more people would I involve in all the things that I did younger? That, you know, now, I got teams everywhere.
Be sure to visit FlyDialogue.com to find out more about us, including our radio station where we stream hip hop 24/7. Yo, we're literally jamming as we speak. We got a craft beer blog called Cream. Craft rules everything around me. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the craft beer app called Untapped, or on YouTube. Just search Fly Dialogue on all these platforms. Be sure to follow us and friend us, subscribe to us. Long story short, check us out. We'd love to have y'all and we look forward to connecting with you. And let's talk soon.